So, hi Jill. So Jill, if you are teaching mole to mole, mole to gram to mole, gram to gram, particle to particle, liter to liter, it doesn't matter in my mind what you're teaching. If you give them this roadmap and you teach them how to label the parts of their equation, then they always have that one tool to use in all circumstances. So you have your basic chemical reaction, and whether you're going mole to mole, or you're going mole to gram, or you're going gram to mole to gram, or if you're going liters to mole to even particles. No matter what you're doing, at the core of that is the idea that you start, if it's at the heart of it is the mole, of course, so that would be moles of A moving to moles of B. So when you teach the kids to read a problem, once they've written and bounced their equation, the idea to me is to read the problem and decide who is A and who is B. And A is the starting amount. So if it says you have 2 grams of sodium, sodium is A. And it says if you start with 2 grams of sodium, how many grams of sodium chloride can you make? That question mark becomes your B. And you teach them to label the A to B before they start. And then they know that the setup for any problem, this is the big picture, is grams of A to moles of A to moles of B to grams of B. And of course, these end things can be grams, liters, or particles. And they have to memorize what the types of particles are, and that this A to B to B situation is good for all of these on either end. Can be liters over here too. So when they start their problem, balance it, label A and B, and then when they begin to set it up, they know that grams of A is the first. Let's say it's a full gram to gram. You know what? Gram to gram problem's easy for them because they do the whole thing. They get confused when you say, let's go grams just to grams of A to moles of B. So you have them actually write out grams of A is sodium, grams of sodium is your starting place. And that they now need to go to moles of A. What is moles of A? What is A? A is sodium. So now we're going to put moles of sodium here. Some of the kids like to write the whole roadmap out first so they don't get lost on the way. I think that's good for some, but not for all. Because the other thing I think it's important to teach them is each one of these, of course, is a conversion factor. And that 1 mole of anything, if we're talking about grams of something, this is going to be the molar mass every time. So they've got to memorize a couple things. They've got to memorize the roadmap big picture. They've got to memorize what particle types you can have, and they have to memorize just a few conversion factors. The 22.4 liters is 1 mole. That's 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Particles of any type is 1 mole, and then that the molar mass in grams is 1 mole. And that's all they need to know. So if they have these few things memorized, and they've got the habit of writing this at the top and asking themselves, where am I going? Who's A? Who's B? Where am I starting and where am I ending? And I often make them do this. If they have to write this out till they get really good at it on every problem, and they have to put an X. I say X marks the spot. You start here, you read the problem, where are you ending? Oh, on this problem, I end here. So I'm going here to here. That's it. All right, I'm done.
What were the things you were doing in the other room about the lines where you said to know to go like gram to mole or gram to?
Oh, I guess the only other thing, sometimes I have them draw lines when they're first learning it. And so that would be this, the starting and ending place. I say, look, at the heart of this is this kind of problem. So if we're starting with grams and we're supposed to, of A, and we're supposed to go to moles of B, you could even draw a line and say, I need to start here and end here. And then you can erase that for the next problem, and you've got your template here, your roadmap, and then you say, where am I starting, where am I ending? This is A for my new problem, and that's going to be B. So I'm starting here. I forget this step. Don't do that step. Move this way. And that's it.